I'm now 3 weeks into my 90-day experiment to set up systems for running my business from voice notes. Voice notes to AI, and then the AI takes actions on my behalf, whether it's creating documents, updating my CRM, or this week, drafting emails. Email, if you're anything like me, stuck at a desk writing emails late at night, because as business owners, it's like, oh, I just need to, if I get that out, it will help me the next day, or, oh, there's something I feel that I need to respond to here. So what I have built is that voice note connection. Sending a voice note on Telegram, AI takes the transcript, says, I understand you want to write an email here, draft an email. It's already connected into my Outlook account, and then it will draft the email for me, and I can go in and either make some changes or look at it and go, great, I can send that. But it saves me having to sit down at the desk and think about what it is that I'm going to write, how I'm going to structure an email. I can have that draft ready for me, and then I go from there, get ready to send. So it's another piece of the puzzle for me in terms of how I run my business. And much like the previous videos, if you've watched week 1 and week 2, I will be giving a quick demo. I'm going to do that voice record, I'm going to send the voice notes to the AI, and then show you what it creates on the back of that. I think it's also important to take a second to think about this in the context of how we run our businesses. You may get 10, 20, 30, 50 emails every day. Some people do. And then I think email is an interesting one. And I've had a love-hate relationship with email for many years. I used to work for email marketing platforms. And there are those that we receive and we choose, okay, do we want to respond to them? And there are those that we then write and send for a very particular purpose. And so the voice note that I have created here, that the mechanic is for drafting those emails that may be follow-ups, maybe check-ins that we want to do with someone. We haven't seen them in a while, just thought we'd reconnect. So it's not necessarily about replying to something that I have received, not yet. That may be the way that I take it and extend it. But it is about being able to say, I've just had a meeting. As I'm walking to the car, I can send a voice note that says, write me this follow-up email and draft it so that I can review it and then send it from there. So I just wanted to set that framing a little bit. So let's dig into it. I'm going to record the voice note, and then I'm going to show you my Outlook. So I've got Outlook installed on my machine. I'm going to show you the drafts folder. And so we should see the draft then being created in there, and we can look through what is in that draft and what's been created by the AI based on the voice note that I have sent. So I'm going to get that set up with a screen share so you can see the draft folder, and then I'll start recording that voice note. Send my voice note to Cassie asking her to write this draft email. Just make sure I'm into the bot here. Okay. Hi, Cassie. Can you draft me an email, please, for John Smith? That is john.smith@email.com. It's a follow-up on the meeting that we've just had where we started to discuss owner dependency in his business, the steps that he can take to reduce that over the next 6 to 12 months while he's working towards selling his business. A couple of key things we need to include in the email. Number 1 is the optional founder sprint. So the process we go through of setting up a voice note system for him to be able to record his documents, all sorts of documents, client relationships, things like that. So that will help reduce the owner dependency and boost the business valuation. We need to reference our onboarding process. So it'll be a sort of a short setup that we would go through, understanding the way that his business operates, getting some of the key systems set up. We'd also go through the 12 chains audit. So that's about where in his business he is spending the most time, what's keeping him stuck, so that we can then prioritize that. So actually, if you're going to do a bulleted list, put the audit first because that's what starts it, then the onboarding, and then the process of setting up the systems for him. So that's the optional founder sprints. It's the name of our program. That includes setting up the voice notes and running the system. Look to also arrange a follow-up with him in the next 2 weeks so that we don't lose momentum, and given that he was working towards a deadline for selling his business. So we should now get a transcript of that, and it should trigger to send the email, or trigger to create the draft in Outlook for us to review. So just waiting for that audio to be transcribed, and then we'll see what happens after that. Okay, so here I am with Telegram, just so we can see the voice note that I sent, the request for the email to be drafted. The transcript is here. So this is what the AI it went through the process, said, okay, understand this, here's a transcript. It then recognized the trigger, the request to draft an email, and it's told me that a draft has been created in Outlook for John. John.Smith. Details, okay, it's created a subject line for me, and then it's showing me part of the overall email draft. So if I switch to my Outlook, I can now see that this draft is in here. So 1027, it's same time as the message here, 1027. Draft is here, subject line to John Smith, which is what I requested in the voice notes, with some details. Now, yes, I can go and edit this. I can make changes if I want to. Maybe I work with Claude over time and say, okay, how do we change some of the formatting? We want bold for bulleted lists and things like that. But it means that I am now in a position where I've had a meeting and I can go, okay, drop me an email as a follow-up, or I've had a conversation with someone and I want to make sure that my thoughts are down, even if I then edit later. And I've got some support from the AI to do that by drafting the email. The extension to this could be that I look to get the AI to write replies. So this is almost like a first email to start a conversation. It's a follow-up after a meeting, but I could look at extending it to write replies for me. So if I'm somewhere and it's like, okay, I'm just about to step into a meeting or into an event, I've seen something, I want to reply. So the next step could be, okay, here's a voice note, can you write me a reply to this? Go into my email account, find the email, find the thread, understand it, here's my thoughts on a reply, and then get it to write that reply as a draft that I could send when I have some availability. So this is week 3, excuse me, week 3 of my 90-day experiment to build systems that enable me to run my business from my phone. We've got document creation. We've got adding notes and creating contacts in a CRM. We've now got the ability to draft emails from a voice note. There's so much more to come in the following weeks. I'll see you in the next one.